In this image right here, I have the streamer Neon, and we'll go through Kai Cenat. Adin's one of them too, and I forgot, maybe there's a few others that I wanted to get into. But I believe that streamers are making men weak. Are they not? Maybe that's the whole premise of the streamer generation, because it seems that most of these streamers, and we all remember, well, maybe not all of us, thankfully, but most of us that pay attention to these sort of things remember the humiliation ritual that Neon put on, where he had male strippers come over and take advantage of him. We don't need to play that, but just know for reference, you can see it. It's on one of my other videos where Neon gets humiliated by male strippers. Need I go on that topic? No. So therefore, as I'm mentioning, as we've heard about, and look at this girl that Neon's dating too. She looks just like the other girl that he got humiliated in front of. And then we also know about Kai Cenat getting dumped and saying that he never wants to be in a relationship ever again. Dude had his ex-girlfriend giving a PowerPoint about which car she wanted to drive for Christmas. Beta male simp. But this new streamer, well, he's not new, but to me he is. Okay, I guess he's getting pretty popular. His over-exaggeration and his attitude, I'm not sure how to pronounce the name, if it's Rocky or Rock Guy. His his over-enthusiasm gets checked by this woman. I don't think she works at Target, but I guess she was a person who came up to him and said, hey, you already know how they perceive us. Basically, how Americans are racist towards black people. But the way this kid acts, we understand you got to be a little overly animated to get people watching, I guess, on these streams. But he seems like he acts just like Kai Cenat used to act. And that's what I'm telling you. This whole loud mouth, oh my God, all that stuff is just becoming over exaggerated.
And I'm saying this as a mother. Please, because you understand where we are right now. You already see how they perceive us. Wait! Just please.
All that's unnecessary.
Sweetheart. For your mom. Sweetheart, I know you're recording right now. I'm going to ask you to show it for your friends. We're doing this for content.
I'm listening.
Let her talk. There are people watching you right now.
She's so tired of it. Listen, I understand that she's right about them being overly dramatic, and I just want to say I understand that kids want to be kids and just have fun. I get it. Like, I have no problem with that. Let the kids have fun. But then I do get it too, that it's like, why you got to be in the supermarket or in the store? You know what I'm saying? I guess for context, they want to make it seem more realistic on their streams, I guess. But for the most part, it's just like the way these kids are acting, and I'm not sure how old they are. They look like they're probably around 16 to maybe like 19, 20. Who knows? Young adults, I should say. But like how they look like they're little kids to this woman. I remember when I was that age, women were already looking at me like I was a grown man. And my friends too. Oh, if you don't believe me, go back and listen to Tupac and rappers from that generation. Didn't they look a little older than they were? They looked a little older, right? Yeah, that's because that's the generation that I came from. It's actually interesting. I feel like when I was younger, I looked older, and as I'm getting older, now I look younger, which is evidence of that, because people always think I'm younger than what I am. But I just remember at that time that women were already looking at me like I was a grown man. Like, I didn't have women that looked like her age. I'm not sure how old she is, but you know how she even said to him, like, I'm saying this as a mother. This didn't happen to me when I was this age. I feel like I had women that looked like her that were already finding me attractive at that age, you know? So I don't know, maybe like some of my friends said, it was a different time, different generation, but that goes more so to the point of this video, is that I believe that these streamers are making men, young men, weak, that look up to men like Cenat, you know, who I'm sure is the one who birthed these types of upcoming streamers that just want to act all stupid and ridiculous on camera because that's what they think is giving them more streams. And I'm sure that these I'm sure Caucasian males who run these platforms probably push them more so because they are dumb. This is not highly evolved man activity. Maybe the dad's around, maybe he isn't. I haven't researched it that far. Maybe some of y'all can say it in the comment section. But what I will say though is that I know that I would not have my child acting like this on a stream for traffic. I mean, do you have to play the overly dramatic, dumb teenage kid in order to get hits on streaming? Is that even necessary? It seems like a lot of these cats started out like that, like Cenat and Adin Ross and all them. It seems like they started out acting like this, and then now they're like more calm, collective. You could tell that they changed their style. They switched up their style a little bit, whereas before they were like all hyper and stuff, right? So it just seems like this is so you could see that and say they probably know that it was stupid. You know, it's like if you go back and you watch early Eminem interviews. You know what I'm saying? Like, look how Eminem is now in interviews. He's very calm. He's very collective. He's very precise the way he speaks. But if you go back and you listen to interviews of Eminem when he was doing Slim Shady, the dude was all up on the floor, crawling on the ground, yelling. Maybe he was high on drugs, possibly, probably. But he was just a whole different persona then. It's almost like quite interesting to watch how he's changed his whole style, not just with rap, but how he carries himself in interviews. Well, he doesn't even do interviews now, but you know, he's famous enough to where he doesn't have to do interviews. He only does an interview because he wants to do the interview, not because he has to. But yeah, man, I feel that these streamers are doing a disservice to society. I think they're doing a disservice, especially to young black men. They're not really helping society to go further, especially for young people of color. The way that Cenat got treated by his ex-girlfriend, and like I said previously, how she was explaining on a PowerPoint what kind of car she wanted for Christmas, and he was just sitting there like, okay, yeah. Whether if it was real or if it wasn't real, it's still not a good look for young men, because young men are possibly now thinking, oh, is this what I have to do to keep a woman? Is this what I have to do to keep my girlfriend happy? And it's sending out the wrong message. And like I said, these older Caucasian men who own the channel, and I'm not trying to make it like just a racist thing, but to a certain degree, it somewhat is, because we know the people that run these platforms, right? And I can't imagine that every streamer wants to be like a Cenat. There's got to be some streamers out there who maybe are coming with a different approach. I don't know, because I don't really follow that stuff and I don't really watch it to that extent. But maybe not. Maybe this is what they want to push. But I don't think that it's a good look for people of color. You know what I mean? Especially because these are the kids that look up to him. Now, granted, I'm sure he has all kinds of kids that watch his streams, but I'm willing to bet that most of them are probably underprivileged young black boys who watch his streams, who watch their streams. I mean, who else is watching this? It definitely ain't adults. I don't think adults could find this entertaining. Okay? So it's definitely young kids, and the young kids are thinking that this is cool to act like this and to dress like this and to go out in public like this. One guy has on a ski mask with a backwards hat walking through a store. You don't think that people are looking at you like you're going to rob something? That's why this woman went on to say, look, you already know how they perceive us. I don't care about your stream. You are out here acting like a fool, acting like an idiot. And you're making black people look bad. You know what I'm saying? We already got this stereotype. You ain't helping. It's basically what's being said here. And like I said, these are things that we have to be aware of. For instance, a white man can walk into the store with a backpack on, and everybody will be like, even the security guards who work in the store will be like, oh, okay, he's got a backpack on. Probably just wants to have something to be able to carry whatever he's going to buy. No big deal. Right? But a black man, especially dressed like how these young men are dressed, walking with a backpack on, I guarantee you, everybody's looking at them like they about to steal something. Guarantee you. Happens all the time. I've tested this. I've walked into stores with a backpack on because sometimes I have my computer in the backpack and I just didn't want to leave it in the front. And I remember walking through the store and I remember a security guard came up to me. Black dude too. Black security guard. You know, we racially profile our own people. He's like, hey man, you're going to have to leave your backpack up here at the front with me. I said, I ain't doing that. He's like, why? He's like, you got to. I said, I ain't doing that. I said, I got my computer back here, man. My laptop is in my backpack, and I ain't leaving that nowhere. I know you ain't going to watch that. I know you could be walking around doing whatever the heck you doing nothing. That's why I got the backpack on in the first place. It's not to leave it somewhere. And he was just like, I was like, man, don't worry about it, man. I ain't going to steal nothing, man. I pulled out a wad of cash, man. I bet you I have more money in my pocket than he probably made for that entire week. Don't worry, homie. I ain't gonna steal nothing. And when he saw the money, he was just like, all right, man, all right. And then he went on. But it was just like, man, isn't that interesting? Our own people stereotype us. But this is a fact, though, that we have to understand how we carry ourselves. And what these streamers are doing is not a good look for us. They are not looking out for the young man, especially the young black man. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want my kids watching this. They can watch it sometimes just to be like up to what's going on. Because I know nobody wants to go to school and be like, oh, your parents don't let you do that, or your parents don't let you watch that. You don't want to be that kid either. I get it. But also, there's some things too where as a parent needs to intervene and say, hey, you know, you can watch this for entertainment reasons, but I do not want you trying to duplicate that. That's where a parent should come in. So, yeah, like I said, these streamers are showing young men how to not act, how to not behave in public. I understand you want to be a kid, you want to have fun, enjoy your childhood. Yes, I get it. Looking back, I feel like I had to mature pretty quickly. By the time, like I said, man, by the time I was 16, I was already being treated like a grown man. That's why I believe in these stories about Alexander the Great already ruling an empire at 15 years old. Today, we act like 15 years old is like a child and a kid. Not till you study what was going on in history. You had people that were already ruling empires at 15 years old. You see, but they don't want that anymore. They want to make sure that they can control the young generation, especially the young generation of color, and make them weak. And I believe that that is the reason why these streamers are popular and why they get the airplay that they do, is to keep the young men weak and have them keep getting weaker and have women look at them as these buffoons. Yeah, man. It's definitely, I think, all by design.